Good morning, children. I am teacher Shobha, your geography teacher. In today's class, we will learn about chapter 3, drainage system. Have you ever heard the word drainage? Or when you have heard this word, do you remember something? In your locality or in your colonies, we all have drainage system, isn't it? All our wastewater from our homes flows through the gutters and it meets or collects into a big safety tank or in a big space where it goes into the outside of the colony or city, and that is called as drainage. Okay, but here in this chapter we are talking about the drainage system of rivers of an area. If we look at the physical map of India, we see many small streams or rivers flowing from different direction. They all come together and form a main river. And then they drain into a large water body such as lake or a sea or an ocean. The area drained by single river basin is called as drainage basin. If you look closely here in this figure, and any elevated area or an upland or a mountain that separates into two drainage basins or which divides into two sections. Here you can see one water body, maybe a lake, is divided into two streams A and B by a water divider. Now we will learn about the drainage system of India. As we all know, India has got a broad relief feature. That is, there are many high mountains on one place and many river valleys, and there are deserts in another place, and there are plain regions, and there are coastal plains also. The drainage system of India are mainly controlled by this broad relief feature of the subcontinent. Accordingly, the Indian rivers are divided into two major groups. One is Himalayan rivers and second is the peninsular rivers. And these two rivers are different from each other in many ways as they originate from two major physiographic regions of the India. Most of the Himalayan rivers are perennial rivers, means they have water throughout the year. These rivers receive water from the rain as well as from the melted snow from the lofty Himalayan mountains. The two major Himalayan rivers are the Indus and the Brahmaputra river, which originate from the North Mountain ranges. As they flow, they cut through the mountains, making gorges. Gorge is a narrow valley with steep rocky walls located between the hills or mountains, as you can see in this figure. The Himalayan rivers have a long courses from their source to the sea, means they flow for a long distance from there where they originate and from that source to the sea. They perform intense erosional activities, like they take fertile soil along with them while flowing in their upper course from above starting from their original source, and carry huge loads of silt and sand. And in the middle and the lower course, meanwhile flowing at the middle and at the end where they join the seas or oceans. These rivers form meanders. And these meanders are the streams or river road having lot of curves and bends. And oxbow lakes. Oxbow lakes are which flow in the oxbow shape. Means oxes have two horns, right? And the shape in between them can be called as oxbow shape. and they form many other deposital features in their flood plains. They have well developed deltas also. Deltas are an area of low flat land, sometimes shaped approximately like an triangle, where a river divides into many smaller rivers before flowing into the sea. Now let us learn about peninsular rivers. A large number of peninsular rivers are seasonal. Seasonal means their flow is dependent on the rainfall. Because of this, they are active in rainy season only. During the dry season, even the large rivers will reduce their flow of water in their channels. The peninsular rivers have shorter and shallower course, means they flow for a short period of time, that is only during rainy season, as compared to their counterparts Himalayan rivers. Some of them originate from central highlands and flow towards west, as you see in this map. Can you identify any two such large rivers? Ganga and Narmada. Okay. River Narmada is a main river that originates from the central highland and flow towards the western Ghats and in the regions of Rajasthan and Gujarat. After descending towards the south and meets the Arabian Sea, wherein Ganga river which drifts towards the Bay of Bengal. Peninsular India which originate in the western Ghats and flow towards the Bay of Bengal. As you see in this figure, there are many drainage patterns. The streams within a drainage basin form certain patterns depending on the slope of the land, underlying rock structure as well as the climatic condition of the area. And these are dendritic, and these are trellis, and these are rectangular, and these are radial patterns. The dendritic pattern develops where the river channels flow to the slope of the terrain. The streams with its tributaries resemble the branches of a tree. Hence the name is dendritic. A river joined by its tributaries at approximately right angle, and this develops a trellis pattern. A trellis drainage pattern develops where hard and soft rocks exist parallel to each other. A rectangular drainage pattern develops on a strongly jointed rocky terrain. A radial pattern develops when the streams flow in different directions from a central peak or dome-like structure, and the combination of several patterns may be found in the same drainage basin. So children, this was all about the drainage system, and in the next class we will learn about Himalayan rivers.